Hello and welcome back to the 7th episode of the Holland Impact. I figured it's about time that I talk about something that had a huge impact on the way I look at people, myself, and yeah, let's dive in. So, welcome back, you guys, to the 7th episode. And I realized that on the last episode, I didn't really listen to the whole thing before I sent it out and posted it on Spotify because my wife came home from work and said, "Hey, I listened to your new episode on the way home. It was really sweet, but there's like 3 minutes of you not saying anything at the end of the episode." And I was thinking, is he going to say more? And I'm like, oh, darn it. And she's like, "Are you going to go back and fix it?" And I'm like, "No, I'm too lazy to do anything." So she was like, "Okay." But yeah, so just, I would say the last episode was a success, and she loved it, and she still loves me after spilling our deepest secrets. They're not that deep. But anyway, so this episode, I thought I would talk about something that a lot of you guys actually asked me to talk about when I sent out this form being like, "Hey, if I made a podcast, would you listen to it? What things should I talk about? How long should the episodes be? What should the podcast be called?" And a lot of the responses were about like, what was your mission like? My mission, I have a love-hate relationship with memories from my mission, and I will explain those away. Well, not explain away. I will tell you why I have this love-hate relationship with the memories I have for my mission. I served my mission from January 2nd of 2019 to January 5th of 2021. And if you know your dates, that automatically means that I served my mission when COVID shut down everything. I still remember like it was yesterday when I got the text from the mission leadership saying that we were no longer allowed to meet with people in person or go door to door, like contacting. My companion, I'm going to change his name because I don't think he asked me. He said it was okay if I talk about him on my podcast. I don't think he even knows that I have a podcast. But anyway, we were going to bed. We're just going to call him Elder Johnson. Yeah, that works. Elder Johnson. His name's Jasper. He and I were going to bed. I think he had the phone, so he was in charge of making all of our appointments and keeping track of like everything. So the phone keeps buzzing and it's 10:30, and after 10:30 we're like told, just leave your phone on the charger, don't look at it, don't like know nothing, just it's probably not important, we'll just look at it in the morning. So the phone goes off and I'm like, "Elder, let's just go to bed, like we'll worry about it in the morning." And I roll over and the phone keeps buzzing and he's like, "Elder, we might just take a quick look." And I'm like, "All right." So we look at the text and it's like, "All door-to-door contacting is to cease immediately." And I'm like, holy crap. And we were no longer like to be like in public with people and stuff. And that was hard. And I feel like once COVID shut down my mission, and when I say shut down, I don't mean like we all got sent home. I mean like all of the tactics that we used to teach people were just now out the window. So we had to relearn how to use like Facebook, Instagram, like FaceTime to video call and teach people. And I feel like once COVID shut down the mission, all of the rules went out the window because we were doing all we could do to just stay alive, like emotionally and like spiritually, honestly. So I would download a bunch of like piano music because I like classical music. It's like I had a companion who would go through my phone and find all my piano music and just say like, Elder, this is not allowed. And I'm like, sorry, I didn't know. And he's like, can I delete it for you? I'm like, no, I'm not going to listen to it. I'll talk about him in a minute. And oh my gosh, I should just call him Elder Trainwreck. And I really hope he listens to this. So he knows that I haven't forgotten how, lame he was as a companion. So maybe I should just talk about him right now. Like, if so, my second companion, should I change his name? Probably. I'm gonna call him Chad. I'm just gonna call him Chad. And I'm gonna use a word that I'm not allowed to use on the podcast. So all of you 18 years or younger, cover your ears. Chad was a dick. Oh boy, I'm so sorry about that. I'm glad I bleeped that out. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen and we're gonna move on. So here's why he was a poo-poo head. He would constantly keep track of what I'm sending, like mail-wise, to my family. He would berate me for like just deleting, those like spam messages that you get on Instagram or Facebook. He would criticize me and accuse me of like sending inappropriate stuff to these people when really I'm like clearing out my inbox. Like, I don't want these spam messages on my phone. So he's like, I'm going to call the mission president if you delete those messages. I'm like, do it. I do not give a crap. And oh my gosh, this was so rich. There was a moment where I said something kind of smart alecky to him. I was just like blowing off steam or something. And he immediately pulls the car over. Like, we're on our way to an appointment. And he pulls the car over. And we are now, 9 weeks into being companions? And he's like, Elder, I don't know what's gotten into you. We have been having so much success in this area, but now we're not. And I know it's not my fault. Gosh, I just wanted to throttle him, but I can't. Everyone's a child of God, and some of them are adopted. I'm just going to leave that there. Oh my gosh, he would get so butthurt over some of the things that I would say. We're boys. We talk about girls. So he tells me like, hey, Elder, and he shows me a picture of this girl that he wants to date when he gets home. He's like, Elder, what do you think about this? What do you think about this sister missionary? I'm like, what do you want me to say? And he's like, she's so hot, right? I'm like, I'm not like attracted to her, so I can't say I think she's hot, but she's cute. Like, her eyes are pretty. And he got so ticked off. He didn't say anything to me the rest of the night. And then we're laying in our bed, and I'm like tossing and turning, I'm trying to adjust to this new mattress, because we had just moved into this new house. And he says, Elder. And I'm like, yes, Chad. And he's like, I didn't appreciate the way you were talking about that sister missionary. Like, how would you feel if I said something like that about one of the sister missionaries that you liked? And I can't, to this day, I do not remember what I said. But I think I got the last laugh because he went home from his mission, dated that missionary, they got married, and then they got divorced. And there it is. Who's the hard one to live with now? Now, I pray to Heavenly Father for thanks that I did not live with this missionary during COVID, because I feel like it would have crushed me even more than it did. And I feel like it would have crushed him. Yeah. I hope I never have to see him again. And I know what you might be thinking. Like, Christian, come on. Like, there's no reason to call him the word you called him, even though you censored it. So thank you for being so considerate. I thought you were going to be talking about uplifting things. Well, if I recall correctly, I told you when I started this podcast that I'd be talking about the things that impacted me, and this definitely did. So I'm going to explain why I shared this story in this way with you right now. The reason that I made this episode is to give you guys a realistic preview of what my mission was like. And I know a lot of I don't want to call them kids. I know a lot of the young adults that I supervised over FSY this last summer are preparing to go on missions. And I want to tell them, look, it's not the best 2 years of your life. And sometimes they're not even the best 2 years for your life. Some people go home from their missions and their missions have sucked. And I'm not gonna tell you, like, don't go on a mission, like, if I have context of your life, because I don't want people to go through what I went through. And I don't like some of the bad, and like you gotta take the bad with the good. And I'm not about to throw the baby out with the dirty bathwater. But I just don't have many good feelings towards my mission anymore. I mean, I came home a stronger witness of Christ, but I feel like it just made me cynical. Like 99% of the time when you're on a mission, it's just rejection, depending on where you are in the world. And we just flaunt the numbers in each other's faces like, oh, I baptized 5 people this last transfer. Well, I baptized only 3. Well, you must not be working hard enough. I'm trying to just survive mentally. I would go to court to argue against the whole forget yourself and go to work mindset. That's pretty much an opportunity for mental suicide. That's an invitation for mental suicide. Because what that mentality entails is it's not about you. It's about the people that you're serving. It's totally about you. It's totally about your mental health, your spirituality, your well-being. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, then how are you supposed to take care of God's elect? Is that the word? Everyone's elect. Gosh, there's a part of me that's like, I should become an industrial organizational psychologist just so I can like remold the way we view missions and like missionary expectations, mission rules. Because at the end of the day, we're just kids being sent out into the unknown. And like, God strike me down if I'm saying something that's like blasphemous. Like if you don't go on a mission for personal reasons, I don't think God cares. If you go out on a mission and you come home for whatever reason, I don't think God cares. I think he's more concerned about his children's like health and finding their purpose. Are you keeping your covenants? Are you striving to be honest in your dealings with your fellow men? Are you keeping the commandments? Are you reading the scriptures every day? Are you praying? At the end of the day, I think that's what matters more than putting up with 2 years of potential misery. And it's not a waste of time. I wouldn't say missions are definitely not a waste of time. So don't take my words out of context. I'm just saying, as a person who had a rough mission, I don't think it's the most important thing in the world. There are parts of my mission I loved, though. My friend Stevie Wonder, who I still talk to every week or every other week. He and his wife are really good friends of mine and my wife. We have each other over often to play games and have dinner together, and it's a good time. And we talk about missions and other topics like school, family, jobs and stuff. And Stevie was actually my fifth companion. Was he my fifth companion? I think he was my my fifth companion. And I don't think I ever laughed more than I did on my mission than when I was with my pal Stevie Wonder. And that's his nickname. So I feel like it's kind of keeping him anonymous because I'm not saying his real name. But anyway. My pal Ty. He was my next companion. We were in a place called Hutchinson, Kansas. And he was with me on my first birthday in the mission. And I was super happy to be celebrating my birthday and Christmas and New Year's with him. And I remember when Ty and I were in our apartment, Stevie Wonder and his companion at that time asked if they could stay the night. So it was cool to have the four of us together, just chatting it up and talking. The Surehood boys, I don't know if they're ever going to listen to this, but that was a time in my mission where it did not feel like a mission. It just felt like a vacation. And I was okay with that. There was a couple weeks. We were serving in Topeka, Kansas. We called it. The missionaries called it Top City. And there was a huge storm system that came through Topeka, and it threw off the climate because it was usually hot and humid by the time it was 8 o'clock in the morning. But after this storm came through, it was like cool, and it was the humidity wasn't as high. So that was fun. We would be up early in the morning playing basketball, running the track. My companion was actually helping me lose weight at the time, and I wish he and I were still in close proximity to each other right now. He's actually in Utah while I'm up here in Idaho. And oh my gosh, he was like my personal trainer. So that was a really good time with the Surehood boys, because we were a group of 4 elders in an apartment. We were all sharing an apartment, sharing a kitchen, sharing a bathroom, sharing a study area. And this was when a bunch of missionaries from foreign countries were being reassigned to state missions. So a lot of us were doubling or tripling up on companionships per apartment because we didn't have time to rent new apartment contracts for everyone. So while the mission was getting all that sorted out, we were just bunking together. So it was super fun. And then my last companion, Bucky. When you end your mission, you say your last companion is the one that kills you, but that just means they're the ones that send you home because your mission is ending. I loved Bucky. I still talk to him. I hope to see him soon because the mission reunion is coming up soon. And I hope he's there. So I don't want you guys to think that I only have bitter feelings about my mission. I do, but I still have some good thoughts, some good vibes about my mission. And this is going to be raw and unedited, this last part. I'm just freestyling right now. I don't really have a prompt to go off of on my computer screen, but yeah, I apologize for getting all riled up at the beginning, but there are some people that I met on my mission that I hope I never see again. But there are those people that I want to see again and just hug and put my arm around them, just like it hasn't been a day since we last saw each other. But I think the hardest part about serving a mission is you're not the same person that you were when you left. There's a quote from the last movie of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Return of the King. And I just want to read it. I'm trying to find the whole thing. You know what? It's fine. So here it is. So just for background, at the end of the journey of at the end of the journey for the ring has been destroyed, peace has been restored to Middle Earth, and Frodo is still traumatized by all the hardships and the torment that he had to go through. And he received wounds on his journey that will never fully heal. He had a stab wound. He had sustained a stab wound by a ghoul blade that would never heal. He had been poisoned by the spider Shelob, and he had his ring finger bitten off by Gollum when they were fighting over the ring in Mount Doom. And there's a quote that Frodo says at the end of the movie where he says, "How do you pick up the threads of an old life? How do you go on when in your heart you begin to understand there's no going back? There are some things that time cannot mend. some hurts that go too deep, that have taken hold. You cannot always be torn in two. You will have to be one and whole for many years. You have so much to enjoy and to be and to do. Your part in the story will go on. So that last few bits of that quote is for Frodo's friend Sam. When Frodo eventually decides to leave Middle-earth and go to Valinor, the haven for the departing elves. And because of Frodo's journey, he was given a special gift. He was allowed passage on the last ship departing for Valinor. So he left his book detailing all the events of the Lord of the Rings to his friend Sam. And that last part about you can't always be torn in two, your part of the story will go on, that's for Sam. And I think there's some, like, I can relate to Frodo a lot because of how distressed and traumatized he is about all the things that he had to go through. But he still has hope that he will get better. And I have hope that I will get better, that maybe someday I will have only positive feelings about my mission. And I'm just waiting to see them in a new light. And I'm grateful for my sweet wife, who is always my shoulder to cry on when I'm just like, why did this have to happen? Or something like that. And I'm grateful for the friends that I still talk to from my mission, who still bother to give me the time of day. And to those who are from my mission, who are listening to this, I guess I can just finish this in a cringy way. Say it with me. I belong to the Kansas-Wichita mission family. Hurrah for Israel. My name is Christian Holland, and you're listening to the Holland Impact. Thank you, guys.